All right, so for this game, looks like we have what is essentially just a straight sequencing game. We have these 5 elements, or rather 7 elements to work with, and 7 positions, nothing too far out of the ordinary. So we'll set it up accordingly. Now, they do throw a bit of a curveball in that they define different parts of the day. So essentially, the first and second, these guys are going to be considered morning, and then the third, fourth, and fifth, these ones are going to be considered afternoon, and then 6 and 7, these guys are going to be considered evening. But other than just, these arbitrary kind of lines in the sand, there's nothing too exciting about these definitions, so we can just kind of roll with it. So the elements themselves, we've got J, K, L, M, N, O, and P. So we have our 7. And let's go in the rules. So the first rule says J has to go in the evening. So I guess that just means that J has to go into 6 or 7. So I guess we can even kind of leave a reminder here that J is going to be there somewhere. Next, K cannot be in the morning. So K simply cannot go into 1 or 2. So I guess we can leave another reminder here that K can't go into those positions. Next, we are told that L has to go at some point after K and before M. So I guess we can say we have to have K before L before M. And that's kind of restrictive, isn't it? Because, we know that K can't go obviously in 1 or 2. So the earliest that K could start would be 3. And I guess the latest would be 5. So you'd run K. Oh, wait, no, that wouldn't work. Because if you did K, L, and M in 5, 6, 7, then J would not be able to go in the evening. So I guess K can only really go either in positions 3 or 4. That's kind of nice. In fact, that might be kind of worth exhausting here. We can say that either the K is going to go here or the K is going to go there. In fact, in scenario B, let me just label these. We can say that the L, it's the same issue. We can't put the L in 6 with M in 7. So L is actually going to have to go into position number 5. And then what will happen is we'll just have M and J flipping between positions 6 and 7. So that's kind of nice. And everybody else, there's literally no restrictions on them, right? So NOP can just do whatever. In the top template, I suppose what else? Can we do anything else? We know that L, I suppose, could go into 4 or 5. In fact, I guess we can leave a reminder here, because for the same reason, if we put L into 6, then M would go into 7, and then J wouldn't go in the evening. So the L would go somewhere in 4 or 5, and then M has a bit more flexibility. I guess we can even have K, L, M, and then that leaves J completely free to do whatever. All right, so I guess that's pretty good. Let's see what we can do with what we have. The questions. Question number 1, what could be the order first to last? Let's go. First rule, J has to be in the evening, which just meant 6 or 7. So going through the answer choices, that would disqualify E, which has J way earlier. Next, K cannot go in the morning, which just meant 1 and 2. So that would get rid of answer choice A, and the rest look okay. And then lastly, we have to have this relative K, L, M setup. So looking between B, C, and D, B has K after L. That doesn't work. C has K, L, M in relative order. Answer choice D has M before them, so that doesn't work. So the best answer here to number 1 becomes answer choice C. And as usual, let's just plug that into the board. We have OPK followed by LNMJ. So from there, let's take a look at the local questions, of which we have just number 5. Let's see what we can do. If P is in the afternoon, so I suppose if P is in the afternoon, that could actually work with both templates A and B. But in template B, P would definitely go here, so O and N would just shuffle in 1 and 2. And actually in template A, we get something similar. If P is in the afternoon, it's going to go 4 or 5 with L. But then that just leaves M and J to shuffle between 6 and 7. So you know what? Perhaps we can just do this mentally. We roughly know what's going to happen. So if P is in the afternoon, either it goes here, and then everything else stays the same, or it goes here with P and L, and then M and J, again, are just going to shuffle between 6 and 7. The question asks, what would have to be true? Okay, let's try this out. A, J goes 7th, and no, in both of these scenarios, J would be able to still shuffle. B, K goes third, and no, because both of these templates would have worked, so that doesn't have to be. Next, N is first, and no, we don't quite know that because N could still go between 1 and 2, so that wouldn't have to be true. D, M is in the afternoon, and no, that actually can't happen because M would have to go with J in 6 or 7. And E, O is in the morning, and oh yeah, I guess that does have to be true because all of these spaces would be accounted for. So O and N would just shuffle in 1 or 2 either way. So the best answer to question number 5 is E. Next, I guess let's go back to the globals. Number 2, which of the following is a pair of houses that cannot be consecutive? I guess let's go one by one. Answer choice A, could J and K be consecutive? Actually, no, they can't. That kind of takes care of it, doesn't it? Because J is always going to go somewhere over here. And if we look at our exhaustions, K is either 3 or 4. There's never going to be an opportunity for K and J to be consecutive. So the best answer to question 2 is A. And for the record, at this point, you should be going to the next question. But let's just take a look at the rest of the answer choices. Answer choice B, could J and M be consecutive? And yeah, that happens in both the template and that scenario. Answer choice C, could J and O be consecutive? And here, that might be okay. We could have J and O in 6 and 7, and then you would just have K, L, M. That would have been fine. Answer choice, D, could we have J and P be consecutive? Same thing. In fact, in this game, O and P are logically identical elements. The same thing applies to both, which is nothing. There's no restrictions on them. So if C was possible, then D should also be possible just as well, and vice versa. Since these are two logically identical answer choices, they can't both be right, so either way, they both would have been wrong. E, M and P, and could those guys be next to each other? I suppose, because we could maybe do that. I guess if J goes over here, you could have M over here, and then you could have L and P. So you could have P in 5 and M could have been in 6. So best answer here is answer choice A. Once again, J and K would never have been together. Next, number 3, which of the following must be true? I guess let's try this out. A, K is in the evening, and no, that in fact can't actually happen. B, L is in the afternoon. And yeah, that actually does have to be true, right? No matter which scenario we're in, there's no way to put L in the evening. In fact, we indicated either it's going to go in one of these two or it's stuck here. So L is definitely going to go in the afternoon. The best answer to number 3 is B. Just in case though, answer choice C, L is in the evening, and no, that's impossible. D, M is in the morning, and no, that's definitely not going to happen because M has to go after these guys. And answer choice E, M is in the afternoon. For the record, we could have run K, L, M, but M can also go in the evening as well, so that doesn't have to be true. Once again, best answer here was B. Lastly, question 4, which of the following could happen? Answer choice A, K is after J. Could we ever? Well, no, because we know J is somewhere all the way down here, and K we've already resolved as in 3 or 4, so that would never occur. B, L is after J. And no, same kind of issue. J is somewhere over here, and we know that L is somewhere over here no matter what. So that could never happen. Next, P is after J. And that might be okay. In this top template, we could have run perhaps J over here with P over there, and then K, L, M would have fit into 4, 5. So that would have been fine. Just in case, though, let's take a look at the rest. Answer choice D. N and O are both after M. And I mean, definitely not in this template over here, but in the top template, actually still no, because we would have to have K, L, and M, and then you'd still have to have N and O after M. There would be no space for the J. That would never work. E, both N and P are after K, and you're kind of running into the same problem. If you put N and P after the K somewhere over here, you'd still have to have L and M as well, and that would take up all 4 of these spots, so J would have to have nowhere to go. So best answer to question number 4 is C.